Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Battlefield 1 and another episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the series here on my YouTube channel where subscribers send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to answer them. Now, I can't quite call this a weekly series, can I? Given that I haven't posted the Dear Nero over the past 2 weeks, and I missed yesterday as well, which I typically post this series on Wednesdays. I've just been so bad as of late, but the main reason why is because of course, Battlefield 1, Modern Warfare Remastered, Infinite Warfare reveals, and of course, Titanfall 2 to a lesser extent. Like, playing all these games and making videos of all these games, just haven't really had a whole lot of time over the past couple of weeks, but we are back with another episode here, and we have a number of great questions for this week's episode, so hopefully you guys will just sit back and relax and just enjoy the video, because we got some really good ones here. So let's start off with the first question, which is going to be coming in from Doodlebob on Twitter, who's going to write, Dear Nero, I love uplink on Black Ops 3. Lobbies are very hard to find. Do you think Treyarch should incentivize us to play less popular game modes? In short, Doodlebob, yeah, I think that they definitely should do that, but the long answer would be, I really feel as though they should try to incentivize players to play the game even more, kind of similar to what we saw here in Black Ops 3. So you may not have noticed it, but I'm sure most people have. But in Black Ops 3, Treyarch has been doing a number of community events. I mean, double XP weekends, double Zombies XP weekends, double, I don't know, they put out a brand new game mode, then they give you double XP to play in that game mode. Little things like that that they've been doing all throughout the entire year, which is really unlike anything we've seen in Call of Duty before. I mean, if you go back to, like, let's say Modern Warfare 2, we didn't have any events whatsoever. Like, we would occasionally have a double XP weekend, and occasionally DLC would come out, but aside from that, you just played because you wanted to play. They're actually trying to incentivize players now to log on more often, and I think the reason why is because they want us to be more engaged with Black Ops 3, and the more engaged we are with the game, the more likely we are to actually purchase supply drops. But still, I think it's cool that they try to get us to play the game. So I would love to see that in Call of Duty games going forward. I would love to see a bunch of events like that in Infinite Warfare. I would love to see them trying to incentivize players to play less popular game modes as well, because they indirectly made everybody try out different weapons in Black Ops 3 by giving us Dark Matter camo, right? It was fantastic. I love Dark Matter. I've talked about it so many times. One of the reasons I love Black Ops 3 as much as I do is the fact that everybody is running around with different weapons. The weapon variety is absolutely fantastic, and part of that is due to the fact that Dark Matter is in the game and people are trying to unlock Dark Matter, or if they're not trying to get Dark Matter, they are trying to get gold camo, or they're trying to get diamond camo. They're working towards things, and they're trying out a wide variety of weapons. It would be cool if they were to try to incentivize people to play less popular game modes as well. Make it so, for example, we have a double XP event if we play in the Safeguard playlist. Like, that's it. Like, just play in Safeguard, bam, you get double XP. Or maybe make one for Uplink or some of the other less popular game modes. I think that would be really cool, because if not, some of those less popular game modes are going to just kind of go away eventually. One of my favorite game modes to play back in the day was actually Sabotage. Who remembers Sabotage from, like, Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2? It was in a lot of Call of Duty games, but it hasn't been in any game for, like, the past 5 years. And the reason why is because while they still put it in every game, it was always the least popular playlist. Nobody ever played in that game mode. And as a result, they eventually had to take it out to make room for something different. It just makes sense. So if they don't want that to happen to some of the less popular game types in Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare or what have you, they can try to incentivize players to go play those game modes for themselves, and maybe just they can make the decision by themselves that, hey, maybe I actually do like this game mode, because maybe they didn't give it a chance before. I think a lot of people get into a rut when they play Call of Duty, or at least they get into a habit. Like, for me, I like playing Ground War, I like playing Domination, I like playing Kill Confirmed, I like playing Fracture. Those are my favorite game modes. And I'm not going to play Uplink, I'm not going to play Safeguard, I'm not going to play Team Deathmatch or Free-for-all. I don't like those game modes. But if there was something to incentivize me to go play it, then I probably would, right? So that's a good way to populate those less popular game modes. I like your idea, Doodlebob, I really do, and I hope to see something like that implemented in the near future. The next question is going to be coming in from ProWolf on Twitter, who's going to write, Dear Nero, I remember you saying you don't like airplanes, so my question is, has your opinion of going to DLC events changed? So, ProWolf, no, it hasn't. If you guys don't know, my opinion of DLC events is, even if they were offered to me, which they're not offered to me, don't get me wrong, don't make it seem like, you know, they're offering to fly me out to Los Angeles to play DLC early and I'm turning them down. That's not the case. They haven't offered me anything. But if they did, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go. I don't go to PAX. I didn't go to COD XP. I don't like going to events. It's just I'm not someone that likes traveling. And for someone with a channel of my size, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I would end up losing money to go do something I don't want to do. And so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe if my channel were a lot bigger and my videos would benefit a lot more from getting DLC early, then perhaps that would make a little bit of sense. But right now, it just doesn't make sense financially. And I just don't want to go because I'm really more of a homebody. To be perfectly honest, like if I have to go more than an hour away from where I live, it's like, do I really need to go there? I don't like going places where there's people I don't know or where there's giant crowds of people. I just like being with like a small group of people that I know and close to home. That's how I like it. So I don't plan to ever really go to DLC events or anything like that. Again, that could change in the future. I don't want people like digging up this episode of Dear Nero to say Nero said he'd never go to DLC events, but here he is. 3 years from now. Who knows if I'll change my opinion or not? But right now, I have no want or desire to go to DLC events or like COD XP or PAX or anything like that. The next question is going to be coming in from Alex on Twitter, who's going to write, Dear Nero, what game are you more looking forward to, Battlefield 1 or Call of Duty Infinite Warfare? Alex, this is a very, very good question. This is a very good question, and I know I'm going to shock some people here, but I'm definitely going to say Battlefield 1. I think between those two games, I'm more excited for Battlefield 1. But if you were to rephrase the question and ask me, Nero, are you more excited for Battlefield or Call of Duty this year, I would definitely say Call of Duty. So how I would rank the upcoming shooter games that I'm going to play. Keep in mind, I don't play Destiny and I don't play Gears of War, so those games are just kind of like off the list for me. But the upcoming games, if I had to rank them, it'd be Modern Warfare Remastered, Battlefield 1, Infinite Warfare, then Titanfall 2. That's how I'd rank the games coming up here, and I'm just really excited for Battlefield 1. I enjoyed the beta. I thought it was fun, and it was a lot like Battlefield 4. Right, that's a big thing for me. It was a lot like Battlefield 4, but in a World War I setting, and I'm excited to have a proper Battlefield game again. Infinite Warfare looks fine. It looks like the Infinity Ward adaptation of Black Ops 3, which is not a bad thing, because Black Ops 3 is a good game. But it just, there's so much to take in right now with the rigs and all the equipment and the movement system and the maps, and just now they're releasing stuff for the campaign, and I just don't care about the campaign. And it's like there's so much to take in right now for Infinite Warfare that I'm really just going to reserve my judgment for the beta. Now, at the time of this video going up, which is on September 15th, we are about 1 month away from the release of the multiplayer beta for Infinite Warfare on the PlayStation 4. Now, of course, since I own both systems and it's not going to be coming on PC, I'm going to be playing the Xbox One and PS4 betas for Infinite Warfare and playing as much as I can and trying to familiarize myself with the game. And so I'll see how I like it then, but just right now, it looks like there's a lot to take in, whereas I've already played Battlefield 1, and I actually have an idea of what that game is going to be like, and I know I'm going to enjoy that game. Same thing goes for Modern Warfare Remastered. Even though I'm yet to play it, I have seen some footage of it, and I've also played a ridiculous amount of Call of Duty 4. This is the thing about looking back at some of those older games that keep track of your time played. Like, I could look at my time played on Call of Duty 4 and be like, wow, that's like, I don't even know, 70 days of playtime amongst all my accounts I've ever played Call of Duty 4 on. But that's not counting a lot of things, right? That's not counting the time I spent playing the campaign. Like, I played through the campaign a bunch, and I have all the achievements in that game. That's not counting all the time I spent in private matches, or in pre-game lobbies, or just, you know, I've spent a lot of time in Call of Duty 4. I really enjoy that game. And looking at Modern Warfare Remastered, it's going to be just about the same thing, but with different graphics, you know, and upgraded textures and whatnot. I'm looking forward to it. So right now, Modern Warfare Remastered, Battlefield 1, Infinite Warfare, and then the final game, Titanfall 2. And the reason why I rank it lower is, traditionally, I've enjoyed Call of Duty more than I did Titanfall, and I've also enjoyed Battlefield more than I enjoyed Titanfall. Even though I thought the beta was fun, Titanfall 2 just isn't going to compete with Battlefield or Call of Duty for me this year, which kind of plays into the entire narrative of the video I made a while back saying that they should delay the Titanfall 2 release until like March or something like that. It just makes more sense. There's no reason why it should be trying to compete with Battlefield and COD this year, but we're going to be talking about that in a question later on here in this video. The next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, do you think Raven Software should be able to patch and nerf aspects of future Call of Duty Remastered games, assuming there are more, as they see fit? Michael from the Music City. So Michael, that is a very good question, and before I answer, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down there in the comment section below. Let me know in the comments, especially if you're watching this on a computer. It's really easy to type in your comment really quickly. Just pause the video, type it in. But what do you guys think? If they do remaster more Call of Duty games, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, if they go ahead and do that, should they be able to buff or nerf certain things as Raven Software sees fit? go ahead and write your comment. Now I'm going to give you guys my answer. I feel as though they should going forward. I really do. And here's the reason why. So with Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare Remastered, I was actually surprised to see that they're not going to be changing anything. For me, I thought they'd be nerfing Frag Times 3 or maybe Martyrdom or making adjustments to Juggernaut. But at the same time, I'm happy they're keeping everything in the game, because while there were some powerful things in the game, none of them were game-breaking, right? In Call of Duty 4, nothing was really game-breaking. Sure, frags were really annoying. Don't get me wrong. Martyrdom's super annoying. Dying to somebody who's really good with like an M16 or an MP5, sometimes really annoying, or sniper rifles especially. But I'm happy it's going to be the same, because I've always enjoyed Call of Duty 4. But if they were to remaster World at War, I can't see them remastering a game that has something as broken as the MP40 in there. If anyone's ever played World at War, especially if you played it back in its prime when everybody was using the MP40, that gun was a little bit too ridiculous. It was too powerful. If you tried to go up against somebody who had that gun and you weren't using it, you were just at a giant disadvantage because it was way too strong. And so if they were to remaster it, I would like to see them nerf down the MP40 a little bit. I think that would be really good. If they were to remaster Modern Warfare 2, like I talked about in a video a couple of days ago, I cannot imagine a world where they remaster Modern Warfare 2 and keep one-man army grenade launchers exactly the same. Now, they could keep Danger Close for all I care, honestly. It's an annoying perk, but there is a bit of a benefit with Danger Close Pro and being able to do more damage with your kill streaks and stuff like that, which is kind of cool, I guess, but no one would ever really use that over something like stopping power, right? It just doesn't make sense. But, yeah, I can't imagine them remaking Modern Warfare 2 and not patching that. Or maybe even, like, Black Ops 1 with the FAMAS. Like, Black Ops 1, the FAMAS is really, really good in Black Ops 1, but if they were to remake it and not nerf the FAMAS, it would still be fine. But specifically for World at War and Modern Warfare 2, those two aspects really need to be fixed, in my opinion. So I think they should be able to patch and nerf certain aspects of the game, depending on the game, I suppose. Like certain games, like Modern Warfare 3, I guess there were some. There's like OP things in every game, right? Where do you draw the line on what needs to be fixed, what doesn't need to be fixed? It's a really tough question. But for me personally, for those two specific games, World at War and Modern Warfare 2, they really, really need to patch certain things if they were going to remaster them. The next question is going to be coming in from Andrew C. on YouTube, who's going to write, Dear Nero, now that we know we have gold camo for all weapons in Modern Warfare Remastered, do you think the game will have a so-called master camo like we had with Diamond and Dark Matter? I think it would be cool, but something low-key, like the Orange Tiger in Black Ops 1. So, Andrew, that's a really good idea, but I'm not sure exactly how to answer it because we don't know how gold camo works. So I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios here. Let's say, hypothetically, you get gold camo in Modern Warfare Remastered by using one weapon. For example, you use the MP5, you do a bunch of challenges, bam, you get a gold MP5. If that's the case, then yeah, I think there should be a master camo of some kind, like a Diamond or a Dark Matter or something like that. Maybe like an Infinity. Give us like a green Dark Matter for Modern Warfare. I think that would be really cool. And the reason why I want that is I've talked about it in the past, but Dark Matter is one of the best things I've ever seen in Call of Duty. We've had unprecedented amounts of weapon variety in Black Ops 3, and a big part of that is due to the fact that Dark Matter is in the game. And so every Call of Duty game going forward, I would like to see them have some sort of a master camo for us to try and go for. Therefore, people are going to be trying out a wide variety of weapons. And Modern Warfare Remastered especially, I can tell you what weapons people are going to gravitate towards. We're going to see a lot of M16, a lot of MP5, a lot of P90, a lot of AK-47. Like, these are the big popular weapons in the game. These are the weapons that everybody seems to gravitate towards. Nobody ever seems to use the Uzi or the Scorpion or maybe something like the light machine guns. Like, nobody used any LMG besides the RPD, the sniper rifles. I mean, you saw a good variety of them, I suppose, but mostly it was M4A3 or Barrett 50 cal. Like, there was just a couple of really good weapons in the game that everybody would seem to use, and if they were to have a master camo, then people would not just gravitate right towards those weapons right away, but they'd be trying out all the weapons in the game, which would be pretty cool. But let's say there's another scenario where maybe you have to go ahead and get all of the challenges done for all the submachine guns, and that will then unlock you gold for all your submachine guns. Then even in that case, I think they should have a master camo. But then again, gold camo in Modern Warfare Remastered may be the master camo. I mean, it may be something that you get for completing all the challenges for everything. I mean, maybe you complete all the challenges for the assault rifles, and then you get a golden AK-47 like you did in Call of Duty 4. But if you want to get gold for everything, you have to unlock all the challenges for all the weapons in the game. That gives you gold for everything. Like, that could be the case. We don't know. But yeah, the idea of a master camo in Call of Duty is a great idea in my opinion, and I would love to see that in Modern Warfare Remastered and every Call of Duty game going forward. The next question, he's going to write, Dear Nero, I'm in high school without a job. I want to play every new game, but I just can't. I wish all the shooters were spread throughout the year instead of it being Gears 4, Destiny DLC, Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, so on and so forth. I want all these games, but I just don't have $500 to spend. I'd also like to thank you for all the content you produce for people's enjoyment. Agent 9400 from Georgia. And before we get into the question or replying to this here, thank you so much, Mr. Agent 9400. I know you are a longtime fan of my YouTube channel. I recognize that name, and I love seeing people that have been around for years and years like you have. Thank you so much for all your continued support. But yeah, to address your question here, they are really putting all the games together all at once, which is really annoying, honestly, because I talked about it in my Titanfall 2 needs to be delayed video. They can't have all these games coming out at the exact same time, especially competing with each other in the same genre, because people can't afford to buy every single one of these games. They're going to have to pick and choose. And typically, I mean, numbers don't lie, people are going to pick Call of Duty or Battlefield because those are the two most popular shooter games out there right now, at least especially like on console, right? And so games like Gears 4 and Titanfall 2, I don't know why they're trying to compete with these games, because they're not going to be able to compete. It would make a lot more sense for them to release Gears 4 in a couple of months or release Titanfall 2 like in March, because then they're not directly competing with Call of Duty or Battlefield. It gives people time to play the new COD, play the new Battlefield game, get tired of it a little bit, and then come March, they're sitting there thinking to themselves, you know, I'm having fun with this COD game or this Battlefield game, but what other games are there out there? Then suddenly Titanfall 2 comes out, and then it's the only thing getting any press coverage because it's the only game releasing in March, and it's a big deal, and they would probably sell a lot more. I understand that game developers and publishers, they want to sell their stuff around the holiday season because people are more likely to spend money during the holiday season, but it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense because there's so many people out there that play a wide variety of games now. I think if you were to go back 5 years, then maybe everybody only plays Call of Duty, or they only play Battlefield, or they only play Gears. But I think nowadays people play a wide variety of games. I think it's not too uncommon to see somebody who's going to be playing Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Destiny all at the same time, right? I think that's going to be a common occurrence. And most of those people aren't going to be able to afford the new Destiny expansion, Battlefield 1, and Infinite Warfare just all right away, right? They're going to have to like spread things out. And it's not fun. Like, it's not as fun getting a game down the line, because don't get me wrong, all these games aren't going anywhere. You can buy them whenever you want, but there's something that's like so much more fun about buying a game when it first comes out, because you're there with everybody, you know, as it first comes out, experiencing the bugginess or the glitches that are happening with it, and you're there. It's a lot more fun to play a game as soon as it comes out when the hype is at its peak. It's just better that way, in my opinion. But then again, with games like Gears 4 and games like Titanfall 2, if you just wait 6 months and just play Call of Duty or Battlefield or Destiny or what have you, I imagine there's going to be a nice price reduction on those games, because chances are they're not going to sell that well trying to compete with COD and Battlefield, and they're probably going to drop the price to try to get more people to buy it a few months in. So maybe that'll be a good thing for a lot of people. But yeah, I wish they would spread this stuff out more too. I think it'd be cool if, instead of having all the games come out at the exact same time, if we spread them all out throughout the entirety of the year, therefore we constantly have new fun releases to look forward to and play. That would be great, because right now there's just too many games to play. There's too freaking many, man. I mean, we got Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, Battlefield 1. I'm going to be playing Titanfall 2. WoW Legion's already out. I'm still playing Overwatch. I also like to play Heroes of the Storm, and freaking Civilization 6 is also coming out. And if you've ever played a Civilization game, you know how much of a big time sink those games are. So it's like, I have all these games that I want to play. It's like, could you spread these out a little bit? It's ridiculous, man. It really is. But yeah, they should definitely spread games out a little bit more. But to be fair, they typically do spread them out a little bit better. But this year, especially, there's so many games releasing at the exact same time. It's kind of ridiculous. The next question, he's going to write, Dear Nero, I've noticed over the last few CODs that there seems to be fewer and fewer people buying the DLC map packs. I'm one of them. I personally don't see the value any longer. I was wondering, with the success Activision has had with supply drops, if you feel there is any chance we will get DLC maps free going forward. There's lots of advantages to doing this, but none greater than keeping the community from fragmenting. Plus, I think it keeps people playing longer. Thank you, Bill. So Bill, that is a very good question, although I will say I don't think that DLC map packs are going anywhere anytime soon. Have you ever wondered why video games are so cheap? And I know some people are like clinching right now, like video games aren't cheap, they're expensive as hell. But if you really think about it, they're pretty cheap, because $60 for a video game in 2016, that's the same price we were paying for video games 10 years ago back in 2006. And the games that we get nowadays are much bigger, have a lot more content, and they're just much better overall compared to the games we saw back in 2006. And the reason why they haven't increased the price is because they're able to make that money back with downloadable content and microtransactions. I mean, video games nowadays, I would not be surprised to see them costing like $80, $90, because these games are really big and have a ton of content in them. But instead of increasing the price of that, they just sell a bunch of downloadable content that's, let's be honest, is pretty overpriced. I mean, you're looking at 4 DLC maps and a zombies map for $15. I mean, that's a quarter of the price of the game for 4 maps plus zombies. Like, that's really not a great deal, but people buy it anyway because they want the new maps, they want to play zombies. And I don't think that's going to go anywhere, because if they did decide to get rid of map packs, then how is Call of Duty going to make that money back? You could say they could do it via supply drops, but if they're losing all that money from season passes and map packs, they're going to really put some crazy things in those supply drops to encourage people to actually buy them, which is not something that I think people want to see. If anything, I think people want to see supply drops going back to being purely cosmetic, not adding in more things that actually change the game, like weapons, because they want to make more money, right? That's the reason why they put weapons in there in Black Ops 3, is because people weren't buying the supply drops when it was just cosmetic only content. They know if they want to make money, they have to put something good in there, so they start putting in throwback weapons and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to get rid of map packs anytime soon. Occasionally we make it a freebie, like Making Day back in World of War. That was really cool. They took the map Macon, they made it daytime, and they made it low tide, then bam, they just put it in there and gave it to everybody for free. I think that was cool. And like Treyarch is doing with Nuketown, like they make Nuketown like a pre-order bonus map for a while, then like halfway through the game's life cycle, they just make it free for everybody to download. Little things like that. I like when they do stuff like that, but map packs, I don't see them going anywhere, honestly. You say that fewer and fewer people are actually buying DLC maps, and I don't know where you're getting your numbers on that, because really none of us know exactly how well DLC is actually selling, but it makes too much sense for them to sell map packs. People buy them. They've been doing it since 2007. It's been almost a decade. I mean, the first map pack that I know of anyway was the Variety map pack in Call of Duty 4. I don't know if COD 3 or COD 2 had DLC maps, but I know for a fact COD 4 did. So they've been doing this for ages. It's a consistent business model that works every single year, and I don't see them actually getting rid of it anytime soon. The next and final question for this week's episode of Dear Nero, he is going to write, I know you generally don't like talking about video production, but I was wondering what software you use to record PC. There's a variety of good softwares out there, and I was wondering which one you use and why. Michael from the Music City. So Michael, the software that I use to record my PC footage is actually NVIDIA Shadowplay, and of course this is exclusive to people that have an NVIDIA graphics card. I have a 1080, but I like NVIDIA Shadowplay because of how simple it is. Like, nothing more, nothing less. Like, it's so easy to change the quality, change the resolution. If I want to record desktop or even a game or anything, I just hit Alt F8, bam, done. Suddenly it's recording. It's great. There's lots of cool features with it. I like NVIDIA Shadowplay a lot. It's very, very easy, and that's why I use to record all my PC stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this episode of Dear Nero. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And if you did, please drop me a rating. And if you guys would like to submit your questions for the next episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube or tweet me on Twitter at NeroTweets using hashtag Dear Nero. And yeah, that was a fun episode. Lots of good questions this week. Good on you guys. I really like the questions this week. I'm looking forward to the next episode as well, and hopefully you guys are too. And be sure to check out my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/NerosCinema, to hear the audio-only versions of Dear Nero after they go up live here on YouTube. Once again, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.